So she helps emerging startup founders and coaches to build their brand online. But she's also a really creative personal branding expert who likes to incorporate fried chicken into her brand, and hopefully she'll explain more of that later. We've also got Nathanial Bibby from Bibby Consulting Group, and he works with leading brands like Westpac, Channel 7 and Apple on branding. And we've also got Lisa T from CODI Agency. So she's the founder and director of digital marketing for CODI Agency, which is social media management, content creation, and influencer campaigns company. She's also the founder of beauty brand 101 Lifestyle, which is stocked in Mecca. So welcome all three of those to the stage, who will be moderated by Toby Scobron, who needs no introduction, but he is the founder and CEO of CreativeCubes.co, a huge supporter of Startup Grind Melbourne, and he's a serial entrepreneur and an investor in many great companies, including ones you might know, such as Orange Theory. So welcome to the stage.
Hi guys, how are you? Welcome.
Something crazy?
Yeah, well, like, I don't know, we need some more energy, guys.
Make some noise.
Come on.
Hello.
Is this the last session?
Yeah.
Last session. Alright. Let's make it a good one. So, what do you want to do? YMCA? Like, what do you... I think not. Okay. I got the big seat. How is everyone? Yeah? How's the session been for you? Yeah? Fantastic. So, this is about LinkedIn. We have some pretty impressive people sitting with me. Pretty and impressive.
Oh, pretty and impressive. That's good.
Lisa was telling me before that a lot of people slide into her DMs, not related to work. Do you guys have that?
On my latest one, I got a request to be a condom ambassador. And I said no, because it didn't align with my brand, and he was passive aggressive and he said, oh, it's a pity that no one wants to talk about safe sex. But if he knows what I like and he just needed for a fried chicken, I'll probably say yes to him. But he didn't do that.
Fried chicken, yeah. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, what was interesting, one of the things that annoys me about LinkedIn is people request to connect and then go straight into the sell without even going, hey, do you want to maybe go out on a date? Do you want to maybe hang out? Like it just straight in for the hard sell. What's your experience, guys?
So going back to your thirsty messages, I do get a lot of thirsty messages from guys on LinkedIn, so hopefully none of them are here today. But it's funny, because I'm sort of on the fence for that one, because obviously LinkedIn's an amazing way to meet, hopefully, am I talking here? Go closer. It's an amazing way to network with business people. So I think if you're wanting to reach out to people on LinkedIn, definitely feel free to send them a message, and if possible, try and make it personalized. I think that's the best chance of getting a response, especially if that person has a lot of followers or is really busy. I think that's going to give you, the best chance of getting a reply. But on the other hand, I sort of feel like, if you're reaching out to someone on LinkedIn, you're doing it from a business perspective. So, it's not like you're trying to organize a date. I don't know what you're trying to do.
I'm not trying to date anyone. Really not. But you do make a good, you kind of like, I kind of agree with you, but I don't disagree with you.
Smart man.
But I also don't appreciate people just coming straight in for the sell.
Yeah.
Like I'd like for me, like my businesses are built on relationships, and I actually have a value that the first 3 values of my business are: number 1 is relationships, number 2 is relationships, and number 3 is relationships, and anything else is kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
because I actually don't get a lot of thirsty messages because I'm like, if anyone, I promote it, like I screenshot shit and share it because I get a collection. I do it like once a year or every couple of years because I find them funny. It's like not what to do, right? And because like I growth hack channels, and one of the things I did on Snapchat was like screenshot every eggplant that happened on there. So I have actually an account of eggplants.
Wow.
That's another story.
Your mum's in the audience, isn't she?
Oh, she's going to come. Thankfully, we're going to talk about this part. But even I don't get them on LinkedIn anymore because I position myself as a professional, and I'm a bit of a troll. So if you want to troll me on my comments, I troll you back, and troll them back by throwing like fried chicken shades. So I was like, you know what's original? Fried chicken, KFC.
So yeah, I think there's some value there, Nathaniel. You and I were chatting backstage, and I said I actually post on LinkedIn 3 times a week. I do video content. I use my LinkedIn to help my community and promote my community with some of the amazing things that they're doing as a primary. And your knee-jerk reaction was, it's not enough posting.
Well, you're leaving the opportunity on the table, right?
Come closer.
It's got to be like how much...
Come closer.
Sorry, it's got to be realistic, and so you can do it consistently.
Yep.
But, you know, if you're getting 2,000-3,000 views every time you post...
Yep.
If you post twice as often, you'll get twice as many views.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I post Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7:30 a.m. I'm consistent with it. I often get an email from String at 7 going, you need to post.
That's awesome. I mean, you're building trust. You're doing it consistently. You're doing what 99.9% of people on LinkedIn are not.
So what you're saying is if I add Tuesdays and Thursdays, you think that I'm getting around what?
You probably will double your numbers if you post photos of famous people and you hanging out at
they're my friends. They're not there for the show. Like, yeah, like I want to actually post stuff with my community to try and give them a voice, right, and give them a leg up on some of the amazing things that they're doing, but no one's listening externally.
Yep, do it every day. Do it more. Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
So if I'm getting, let's say I'm getting 2,000 views on a video Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday, and one of them pops to 8,000. Are you saying Monday, if I add Tuesdays and Thursdays, those 2,000s will go to 4,000s?
Yeah. I post 5 times a day on average.
Shit.
5 times? I've been on LinkedIn only 2.5 years, and I'm like a top creator, a channel on there, and I post once a day, but really high value content because I want to like show value. And also it depends on where your audience is. So if it's in USA, you post it on transit time or in USA time. If your audience or clients is in Australia, you want to post based on their time, like transit time, 9 a.m., 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. Just post on one of those times.
Yeah, I think you stop when it detracts from the value. Like, you've got to maintain, like, every post has to be able to add value.
Yeah.
So if you're doing more and it's detracting from the value, then stop.
Okay, so let's just dial this back half a beat. I'm in business. I have a full-time business. In fact, I run multiple businesses within my business. We have strategic business units that sit within the parent co, and all of those businesses report into me. So I've got a full-time job. Posting 5 times a day.
Strategy. It's just strategy.
Okay. Not time-consuming? I mean, is it time-consuming up front at the beginning of the month? I'm trying to give the audience some sort of...
Well, if you plan your content in advance, so the actual what you're going to deliver, when you're going to deliver it, and you've scheduled it in advance, then it's not time consuming at all. It takes 5-10 minutes. It's something you've got a good internet connection.
And are you like, so I take pride in replying, and I take pride in that engagement.
Yeah, me too.
Are you scheduled? Not saying you're not. I'm just trying to qualify for the people how they can slot this into their busy schedules. I'm up at 4 a.m. and I'm going to sleep at 10 p.m.
Yeah, it's a huge commitment. Like, so unless you want to spend 2-3 hours replying to comments, like, don't post 5 times a day. Yeah, for sure. That's how much time I spend responding to comments every day.
For context, Nathaniel runs businesses on LinkedIn, so he wants to be a channel for other B2B people to create content and be thought leaders or be a channel really. Whereas like what I do with Toby, for example, who's super busy and stuff, we batch our content in one day. And so then we could like push it out.
Yeah, we do a 14-hour, just to share some insights. We do a day of filming once a month. We start, James String shows up at 9, but James shows up at 4 a.m. And we're done at about 6 or 7 p.m. And there's no costume changes because I'm trying to be real. Yeah, no, none of that. It's just like, hey, we've got a block here that we need to fill this.
You know what? He's the most dressed up I've seen him today.
You know why? I actually walked into the office today. Sorry guys, you don't really know me, but you're getting to know me now. I ran out of long sleeve t-shirts, and everyone was like, why are you wearing a shirt today? I was like, because it's cold and I don't have long sleeve tees. Otherwise I'd be wearing a long sleeve tee. So just trying to deliver as much value to these guys who have hung around at the end of 2 days of startup grind.
Yeah.
We're batching content, or I am batching content, and then posting takes me like 3 minutes, depending on the file size, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I get it up at 7:30 every day. Yeah.
And you've been like pushing content for 3 months. How has that benefited your business?
Well, actually, I wanted to take the focus off me because you guys are the expert.
That's what I was going to say. That's where you've done really well. Because if you make it about the people that you're getting results for, you know, it is adding value, but it is also demonstrating what you do as well.
Yeah. So Lisa, I want to dial it back to you. Give us a weird story. Give us something that's happened on LinkedIn that has ultimately transformed who you are and how you're doing business today.
Oh, that's a great question. So,
is this creepy?
This is creepy. No. So I actually, at one stage, was looking for investment for my business, and I saw someone who had in their LinkedIn bio looking for agencies to invest in. So I just messaged them, and I didn't think anything of it. And then this guy replied. I was like, oh, okay, this is good. So I then wrote back, and then we had a chat. And I was like, okay, cool. Still didn't know who this guy was. And then we organised a time to catch up. And then so we met at a cafe, and he was really scary, to be honest. Like, he was not scary as in weird. He was like really intense, asked me all these business questions. I was like, who is this guy? It's like really like, oh my God, we hadn't even sat down to get a coffee. And he's like, what's your revenue? What's your profit? What's this? What's that? I was like, oh my God, like at least give me a drink first. So anyway, the meeting went for probably about 20 minutes. And then he's like, hey, I'm interested in investing in your business. Send me some stuff. So I sent him some stuff. I was like, I should probably Google who this guy is. And then it turns out his name's Nick Bell, and he's like on the AFR Young Rich list, like got like so many agencies. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So then he started asking us for more information, sent some information, and then I didn't hear from him. I was like, oh, that's so weird. I guess, I don't know, is he interested? So I messaged and I said, he ghosted me. No, he didn't ghost me. But I then said, hey, I just wanted to touch base and see if you were interested in investing in our business. And he actually goes, no, it's actually not the right opportunity. I was like, okay, whatever, that's fine. And then I went to bed that night and I thought, nah, I'm not going to take no for an answer. And then so I messaged him, I said, hey, can I call you tomorrow? And he goes, yeah, okay. And then so I called him, I said, I just want to let you know that I think you're missing out on an amazing opportunity and you should invest in this business, and here's why. And he's like, okay, I'll come back with an offer. And so he came back with an offer, we negotiated, and then he signed on to invest in our business. And then, yeah, which is
straight from LinkedIn.
Exciting. Yeah, which all just happened from LinkedIn.
That's why he says you're a good salesperson.
Yeah, exactly. So
I love the tenacity. I'm not going to take no for an answer.
Yeah, so I pretty much just said, you will make the biggest mistake of your life if you do not invest in this business. I wish he was here today because he'll tell you that, yeah, I think investing in the business is the best decision.
Nick's in my building, I think.
Yeah, you're going to tell him.
Tell him he's making big mistakes by not investing in our business.
Anyone else want to share a story before I actually walk the crowd and get them to ask you some questions?
I'll just share one insight, because I started it's actually String helped inspire this concept of creating a show where I interview different entrepreneurs.
Yep.
It's called LinkedIn Heroes. We ask people who their favorite hero is, and at the end, but it's inspiring stories from entrepreneurs, and it's allowed me to tap into some really powerful mentors and widen my audience really quite a lot. And I used to do them every week. Now I'll probably release one a month, I reckon. But
you interviewed me.
Yeah, interviewed.
And do people hang for that content?
Sorry?
Do people hang for that content? Like when you do that once a month?
Yeah. To be honest, I actually make one interview now 3 or 4 posts, because
Yeah.
I find that people don't watch the entire thing.
Yeah, we just did that with Corey, right?
Yeah, we're like 20 minutes and we batched it into 3 little minutes.
4 minutes, yeah.
So if you want to like sell to somebody, or you want to meet somebody, or you want to get in proximity, it's a great way to go interview them. And everybody's doing podcasts, right? Not many people are doing an interview series on LinkedIn.
Whereas my opportunity came because I've been on LinkedIn for 2.5 years and I was able to growth hack channels and using videos and different content. So I got pre-seed funding to develop tools around how to build up trust on LinkedIn and other tools as well.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about some of that stuff. String and I actually work together.
If you can't tell.
Yeah. So I'm happy to be your
Conflict
guinea
of
pig.
interest.
And
Yeah, it's totally right.
what's that?
Conflict of interest.
No conflict of interest. We're going to share the mic around. Audience questions?
I know, totally.
Hi, I'm not so much on LinkedIn, but I'm new to LinkedIn. My question is, when you say that you create a blog or you put any of your point, but if I have only 500 people, that too my friend circle and all, I don't want just them to know what exactly I'm writing, but I want other people also to know. What's the best way to go more than the 500 people?
One, you know who your audience is. If you're creating fintech content, that means you should start connecting with other fintech people who really like your content. You know when you're getting resonance with or validated by having second or third people commenting your post. So that's when you get resonance. But you don't stop with one post. You do it at least 3 months to see if it's worthwhile or not, because it takes about a while for people to know that you exist in the first place. And you don't stop. A lot of times, a lot of content creators or thought leaders or people who want to position themselves as an expert, they give up too easily.
Because I'll be honest, it's actually it's intimidating at the start when you post on LinkedIn, because you go, is anyone even watching this? And you might get a couple of views. But I would definitely say just keep going, and the more you can keep doing it, the quicker your audience will grow. So I post Monday to Friday that you can be sharing on LinkedIn. So I say to my clients, if you've given a piece of advice to someone that day, then that's probably going to help someone else. So you can share that. Or you might be listening to a podcast.
The guy in the orange, do you have a question?
Oh, sorry, just keep rambling. But yeah, anyway, thinking content, and then if you hear anything or see anything during your week, just put it in the notes section of your phone. So when you get in front of your phone or your camera to film, you've got some ideas. So sorry, keep rambling.
Hi, my name's Dan. That was really relevant for my question, so thank you for rambling. I post regularly on LinkedIn.
How many times?
4 times a week. I call that regularly. My impressions are generally around 2,500 views per post, if not greater. The question I have is, what metrics should I be chasing? Is it views, comments, likes?
My one's conversion in terms of sales.
Well,
Dollar bill.
I get that. Our business is consultancy.
What's your objective?
Our business is consultancy, so I want to remain in front of mine.
Yep.
Now, I'm unique. We've only been trading 12 months. My issue is not getting deals and not getting opportunity. It's remaining in front of mine, and that's why I use the platform for that. Maybe I need to spend some time with you guys having a further conversation. But the question I've got is, what is the metric that you should be chasing? You're saying it's conversion. How do you then measure that?
With me, because because you're a consultant business, because LinkedIn is top of the funnel, right? It's a good way to push out content to see if there's resonance and grow a following. That means there's a demand for what you have. But you shouldn't be you always have to think about what is that funnel in terms of booking calls with them, booking prospects with them, or even building up your email list. So there should be some kind of metric in terms of I want to build up my following to 500 relevant connections or 1,000 connections.
From my perspective, it would just be engagement. If you're keeping top of mind and you've got the audience there in your network, then it would be engagement. But if you haven't got them in your network yet, start connecting with them so you've got more people in your network. It's like on Instagram, right? If you want to connect with somebody, you follow them, right? Whereas on LinkedIn, you connect with them, so you can actually choose who's consuming your content by connecting with them, setting connection requests.
Yeah, so we're getting good engagement around comment and likes from the people in our network, but it'd be interesting to see where those views are coming from as well, and how we track that.
There isn't a tools for that really, but you could track it based on the likes. So are you first, second, or third connections? And you should connect with them straight away.
It should be engaging, yeah.
So it's developing a strategy for that. Cool. I better talk to you after stream. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, I think one of the key things to call out was what you said earlier, Nathaniel, which was what's the objective?
Yeah.
For us at Cubes on Instagram, it's just to be present. We're actually not trying to sell anything to anyone. We have what I think is considerable engagement, highly engaged audience, but our objective there is just to be present. On LinkedIn...
Well, it's to build relationships, isn't it?
Yeah, well, so LinkedIn is different to Instagram. For us, Instagram, we definitely display all of our beautiful spaces and amazing people and stuff that's going on in the community. It's not a selling tool. Whereas on LinkedIn, I'm trying to do exactly what Nathaniel is, which is you may not need a private office or a dedicated workstation or anything from me today, but in 12 months' time, when you go, oh shit, actually my team just scaled up. I went from my bedroom to 5 people and 5 of us can't fit in my bedroom anymore. Hopefully I could become top of mind. So what I'm trying to articulate is, it's all about the objective, right? If your objective is to sell, then you have to have a strategy on sale. If your objective is to be present, have a program built on that. But the expert?
Well, I think that if your objective is to be present, you could fall into the trap of posting content without engagement. So social media can create conversations. And that's what engagement is, conversation. Like, so conversation then creates relationships, and relationships can create sales. So I think it could be that maybe your objective is to create conversations and just to start a conversation, you know?
I actually don't think LinkedIn's, I don't personally think LinkedIn's like a really obvious selling channel. So I think, with things like Instagram, it's like, here's a dress, buy it, here's jewelry, buy it, skincare, buy it. Whereas LinkedIn, I feel like it's a lot more about, like Nat was saying, like personality and, showing your personality. And I almost feel like, on my LinkedIn, I post stuff about productivity hacks, for example. I'm really unproductive, so it's kind of ironic. But, I post interesting things I've heard on podcasts that might inspire me. So I actually don't really talk about digital marketing. And it's really funny because the leads that I've gotten, I think, just seem more of my personality. Because at the end of the day, people invest in people, not necessarily the products and services, because a lot of the time, there are a lot of agencies doing what we do in the digital space, but what they do see is my personality. They go, yeah, she looks fun, a bit of a dork, but, looks like she'll have a bit of a laugh. And then they reach out to me because they're interested in working with me. So I think, don't feel like you have to necessarily be talking about your area of expertise all the time. You can actually just show your personality, which I think is the fun thing about Instagram, because I come from LinkedIn, because I come from an Instagram background where it's a lot more filtered. Whereas for LinkedIn, it's actually a lot more raw. So I just literally get my phone, turn it on selfie mode, put it in a little tripod, and then record. So it's not overly edited. It's not edited at all. I just face the natural light and try and look young. And then, I don't care if I make some mistakes because, I feel like the LinkedIn content can be a little bit more raw. So don't feel like you need to have a professional camera person. Obviously, if you want to do that and that's part of your brand, then amazing. But don't let that stop you from just producing content.
So just on that, we've got a question over here. To surmise what Lisa just said, one of our values at Creative Cubes is progress over perfection, right? So warts and all, who cares? Get it done, right? And then let's worry about making it all pretty later, right? So I think that it's a message there. We have another question here.
Hi, so my question was in establishing consistency in your level of engagement on LinkedIn. I'm still relatively new, but I found posts can go from several thousands of views to only several hundred. And I was just wondering if you had any tips or tricks around establishing that consistent engagement across, even if you're just posting on the same content.
We can't control what people like, but the fact that you have hyper engagement with one post means people really relate to that post. So the only way you could build up confidence or trust online is to push out on a regular basis and focus on how do you position yourself to build up that trust. And then when you what happens is, based on analytics, is you post every day and there's certain topics that resonate. Those are the trends that you should focus on. So if anything, just track your metrics better. like what type of post that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think by looking at metrics, you'll see what people actually want to see more of from you. So if you're posting, say, a couple of times a week and you're finding that certain topics are doing better than others, then that's a great indication that you should talk more about that sort of stuff rather than maybe what you had for breakfast. I'm not saying that you don't do that. But, I think it's great that you're paying attention to those stats because that's what's really going to help guide your content pillars, and I think that's really important.
Hey, Michael.
How's it going? Quick one for you in relation to business and personal pages. What's the balance between that, especially in the startup space, and what differences and strategies do you take between a personal LinkedIn page and the business LinkedIn page?
Look, so I don't spend too much time on the business page purely because it doesn't get many people looking at it. It may be because there's less followers on the business page.
They're actually changing that. So you could, if you have a company page and connections, you could actually invite them to like your page. So I feel like there's a shift into it, but you have to have a distinction between it. Because I'm a personal brand, but if I run a company, then it's all about promoting other people in that brand.
So it's a credibility piece. Like, I think that if you're doing business, people will look at your company page to see that you're a real brick, like, you've got some substance behind you. Like, when I checked out Lisa's content, I was like, who is this chick posting selfie videos every day? Does she even have a business? Go to her profile. Okay, wow, yeah, she's like lots of big clients. Yeah. So that's where it becomes important. I think it is imperative to have it, but I think from what I can see is you're going to get the most engagement with the personal profile, because at the end of it, it's social media. It's social. It's a business networking function, basically.
Yeah. People love following people more than brands. So if anything, I would leverage off your personal profile to grow your business page, because it is a lot harder to grow a business page. So I think, yeah, it's definitely a lot harder. So I think if you're the owner of a business, then focus on growing your page and then give yourself like a little, plug every now and then to direct people. But I think if your content's engaging, people will naturally go, oh, what does this person do? And then go and check out your business page. So I think, still invest in it, but invest more time into your personal page.
You've got a good business page, I reckon.
Is it usually the content or the individual/business who is creating the change? Or
Can you put it closer?
Sorry, is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm asking is it the content that matters or the individual/business who is posting it? Because I feel like a newbie who has really insightful outlook can have amazing content, but does not have the voice or the platform. It might be a great platform, but he's not being engaged or shown to the rest of the world.
So there's my mum. She finally got here.
Hey, Mum.
Take your hat off, Mum. She's my fashion stylist. She actually dressed me up today.
You look pretty.
I actually think a lot of domain experts are really shit at content creation.
Yeah.
Because they write in passive tone. They don't even know how to optimize content to bring engagement, but I love them to bits because they're so smart. Like, I hang out with them and there's you have so much knowledge to give, but if you don't know how to create content that's engaging and that's super boring, you won't stand out. The whole point is there's very few good content creators on LinkedIn, which is an opportunity for you to stand out and share your knowledge. So, but you could start off when I first created video, my videos were shit, but I didn't stop doing my videos because they grew with me. So it's like a journey. So they will watch you grow over time. So don't stop. The more you do, the more you get better. The more you find your tone and the way you do content.
My question is, I moved back from overseas recently, so
Welcome back.
Thank you. I've found LinkedIn a useful way to create a presence in Melbourne again, and my question is about the content that I post. Sometimes things I post are not really that business related, and some of the things that pop might be something that's not really related to what I do. And I want to know, where is the line between posting things that are personal, because LinkedIn is still a business platform, and posting things which are, business, or should you always try and link it back to what it is that you're trying to do on LinkedIn, or is it okay and not unprofessional to post things that are just personal?
I talk about fried chicken and business all the time. My credibility, So every time you go see fried chicken, you go think of me because I use it as part of my posting, right? But the thing is, you do talk about business because that shows your case, your credibility. But when they hire you or when they connect with you, you have to show who you are.
There's this thing called a mere exposure effect, which is like basically says that the more somebody gets an exposure to your personal brand or like a company brand, the more likely they are to trust you, the more likely they are to buy from you. Like, so 5-10 years ago, 5 exposures would be enough for somebody to trust you and buy from you. You would be their preference. Now it's like 23 exposures. So I think of social media like, how do I get 23 exposures in front of my target audience that doesn't piss them off with a call to action, that adds value, so that they trust me enough to want to buy from me as opposed to my competitors. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's a good point because I think, if your post is not strictly linked to business, I think as long as you're giving value of some sort, I feel like that's how you can work out that balance. Like, maybe don't share a picture of your breakfast.
Like a selfie with like a shirt off. I don't know. Yeah.
I find that personal development stories do really well. Okay.
So I guess for someone who kind of works in a room and kind of bounces off the energy of other people, and that's how you do social interactions, how do you kind of shift that into an online presence when it's just you and nothing in front of you to kind of get that energy and bounce off of?
That's a really good question. I imagine there's one person there when I'm doing a video. I've always imagined that I'm writing to one person. So, because we don't all know how to, like if we want someone to like us, right, one person, we all know what to do. We make it all about them, we don't talk about ourselves, we, build rapport, and so then it's much easier than when you think about, I'm like, doing a video for 500 people.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like if you're doing video content on LinkedIn, and if you haven't done this, I would definitely recommend doing video because it's such a great way to show your personality because you can't really communicate that in a text post. Like if I was writing a text post, I'd sound pretty freaking boring. But then doing video, I feel like, oh, this is actually me. Like I'm a bit of a dag, like, I have a laugh every now and then. And I'm really passionate about what I do. So I think to answer your question, I find that if I'm doing video on my own, I'll be probably 10% more extra than I normally would be because it comes across actually quite normal. Whereas if I'm just normally talking, I look really freaking boring and monotone. So I think do a couple of videos and watch back. Like, don't be too hard on yourself because it's like really awkward and cringy watching yourself back on video. But don't be afraid to be a little bit more extra than what you'd normally be because it comes across well on video. And then if you're struggling to get your energy levels up, then find someone that you bounce off with, So Nat and I have done a couple of videos recently and we've got a lot, great energy. Well, I think we have a great energy. I don't know, maybe you don't think that. He disagrees with me. But I think that can help you get comfortable with being in front of the camera because it's not for everyone. Like it can be quite challenging to get in front of the camera, get in front of your phone and actually record a video. So if you have someone that you're really comfortable with, they're going to help you get used to doing that. So,
because I coach a lot of people do videos, I make them do dance, I make them build their confidence up.
We make people dance today?
Yeah, we can do that as well.
We were going to, but we're going to run out of time.
So help them build up the confidence because it's only through competence and confidence do you build up the confidence to be in front of video, pretty much.
All right, guys, that's a wrap. I want to call this out. Firstly, I want to thank the panelists.
Well, thanks for listening, guys.
For further information, here's my call to action. Click on these links. Follow these guys, engage with them, try learn as much as you can from them because I think we just scratched the surface here today at Startup Grind, and today is really, I guess the exhibition is designed to sort of inspire you to want to do more and deliver more and create more. So panel of experts, reach them on LinkedIn, follow them on Instagram and Twitter, do your thing. Thank you for coming to Startup Grind.
Thank you for hosting.
What an incredible MC.